Hi guys, and welcome back to Siketero. And today guys, I'll be doing the reading for the President of China, Xi Jinping. So we'll be looking at his leadership and what it has to offer to the people of China and the world. So today we'll be doing general reading for the current President of China, Mr. Xi Jinping. So I've already shuffled the card. We just have to go direct into the reading. So let's pick the cards and do the reading and see what his leadership offers to the people of China and the world. So the first card which came out for Mr. Xi Jinping, the President of China, is the Fool. This is the first card which came out. So the Fool is a card of beginning. And this card, the Fool, is a card of novelty, journey, and trust. This is a card of novelty, journey, and trust. So this card is just showing us that Mr. Xi Jinping, in his leadership, he should aspire to be trusting that life will catch him when he falls. He should be trusting that in his leadership, whatever will happen, he should be trusting that life will catch him when he falls. This is what this card is showing for Mr. Xi Jinping. Let him trust that even when he falls or when he fails in his leadership, life will catch him. This is what this card is showing him. So it's also a card of new beginning. So expect Xi Jinping to bring new ideas to the country and to the world, because there will be a lot of new beginnings in his leadership. There will be a lot of transformation in China, even around the world. So in his leadership, Xi Jinping expect a lot of new beginnings, because this is a card of new beginning. And this is a card which is telling us that Xi Jinping is going to bring a lot of new beginnings to the Chinese people. And not only to the Chinese people, even the world. And it's the only leader we have in this world who's going to bring liberation from the past. Because the world has undergone a lot of things in the past. We have witnessed a lot of things, both good and bad. And this also goes to the Chinese people. They have also faced a lot of good and bad in the past. But this card is saying that Xi Jinping, his leadership, is the only leadership in this world which is going to liberate us from the past. So he's a very, very important leader in this world at the moment, because he is the only leader in this world who's going to liberate us from the past. So some people who call Xi Jinping, or Xi Jinping seems to be naive to some people, or they'll call Xi Jinping to be naive, but he carries an important wisdom. Because this is a Fool, and it is telling us that some people think that Xi Jinping, as a leader of China, is naive. They'll think he's naive. But this card is telling us that he carries a very important wisdom. Xi Jinping. He carries a very important wisdom. This is what this card is showing. It's not me saying, but it's the card showing us that Xi Jinping, as a leader of China, he carries a very important wisdom. Have faith in him. So this card is also telling us that the world and the Chinese people, they should have faith in Xi Jinping as a leader of China. Have faith in him as the world and the people of China, because he carries a very important wisdom. And apart from that, this card is also showing us that it is giving a warning to Xi Jinping and his leadership. It is giving a warning to Xi Jinping and his leadership. This card is telling Xi Jinping that as a leader, they must learn to watch. He must learn to watch his steps for him to evolve forward, or for him to move forward. So this card is telling Xi Jinping and his leadership that they must watch their steps for them to evolve and move forward. So Xi Jinping and his leadership, they must watch their steps for them to evolve and move forward. It will be very, very important for them. And apart from that, this card is telling us that Xi Jinping, as a leader of China, has unlimited potential, spontaneity, and newness. As limited potential, spontaneity, and newness. So he's a very interesting leader, according to the cards. We must watch out. He's a very, very interesting leader, Xi Jinping, because he has unlimited potential. So the world depends on him, and the Chinese people depends on him. This is his time to show the world what he can do, and to show the Chinese people what he can do, because he has unlimited potential. So this is not a simple leader. He's a leader everyone should trust and try to work with, because he has unlimited potential. Unlimited potential. This is what this card is showing us. Limited potential, spontaneity, and newness. So we are depending on him to see new things in this world. We are depending on Xi Jinping as a leader. All over the world, we are depending on him to see the new chapter in this world. He holds the power to create a new chapter for the people of this world and for his people in China. This is what this card is telling us about Xi Jinping. So, apart from that, this card also is telling us that Xi Jinping, as an individual, as a leader, he has a pure and open-hearted. He's pure and open-hearted, I mean. Xi Jinping is pure and open-hearted. He's like a child. He's pure and open-hearted. So he's not a leader to fear, or he's not a leader who has intentions to harm people or to bring disaster to this world. No. Because this card has already shown us, it's not us saying, but it's a card which is showing us that Xi Jinping, as a leader, he has a pure heart. Xi Jinping has a pure heart and open. Is pure and open-hearted. I mean, is pure and open-hearted. So is a kind of a person who believes in taking advice as well from different sides of people. This is what this card is showing us. And this card also is telling Xi Jinping, and his leadership that they must have faith and be prepared for new adventure. So this card is saying that Xi Jinping and his leadership, they must have faith. They must have faith, and they must be prepared for new adventure. This is what this card is talking or is saying about Xi Jinping leadership in China. So let's go to another card. So we have this card. This is card number 2. It is the Two of Wands. This is the Two of Wands. So as you can see, this is a card of duality because it's a number 2 card. So we normally say it's a card of duality. It represents both positive and negative, as the 2 is a number of duality. So let's see what this card is telling us about Xi Jinping and his leadership. So this is a card of choice, prosperity and opportunity. It's a card of choice, prosperity and opportunity. So the Two of Wands, it is telling us that, or it is reviewing that Xi Jinping, his options are going forward. His options, Xi Jinping, are going forward and are more or less equal. This is what this card is telling us, that Xi Jinping and his leadership, his options are going forward and are more or less equal. And it is also telling Xi Jinping and his leadership that his leadership will be like a fork in the road where both paths looks good and end well. His leadership will be like a fork in the road where both paths looks good and end well. So Xi Jinping and his leadership, or in his leadership, will end well. Everything is going to end well. This is what this card is telling us. All will end well in his leadership. He has a bright future for his country. He's going to bring a bright future even to the world, because this card is telling us that everything will end well in his leadership. Everything will end well in his leadership. So apart from that, the Two of Wands in a reading, it is a definite sign that your time to make a choice is approaching. So this card, it is telling Xi Jinping and his leadership that this is the time for your leadership and the country, as China, as a country, to make choices. Time has come to make very important choices. So Xi Jinping has a very huge responsibility, as a leader of this world and the country, China, has a very huge responsibility, because you'll be making very important choices which is going to influence the world to move in a different direction. Xi Jinping will make very, very important choices which will make the country as China and the world to move in a different direction. So he has a huge responsibility. And the other thing which this card is showing us is that Xi Jinping in his leadership is going to accomplish anything he sets his mind on. Whatever his party or whatever his leadership sets his mind on is going to be accomplished. It's going to be accomplished. So Xi Jinping is one of the great leaders China will ever see or has ever seen. A lot of things will come out. He's very dedicated according to this card. And he's going to bring a lot of changes. There will be a lot of change which the world is going to witness under his leadership, because he'll be one of the great leaders the world is going to witness. He's a very, very important leader, according to this card, because this is a card of choice, prosperity, and opportunity. So he's a guy, or is one leader who is going to achieve anything he sets his mind on. Whatever he sets his mind on, it will be achieved for the world and the people of China. So this is just showing us that we must trust his leadership. As the Chinese people trust his leadership, even the world should trust his leadership. And also this card is telling Xi Jinping and his leadership that there will be high stress. Most of the time they'll be stressed. There will be high stress. But since this card is a positive card, be assured you will be okay either way. So this card is saying that despite that Xi Jinping as a leader is going to have a lot of stress. But the card, since it's a positive card, this card is actually telling Xi Jinping that you will be okay either way. You'll be okay either way. Whatever will happen or whatever you will go through as a leader, you'll be well at the end of the day. Everything will be okay. Be assured that you will be okay either way. So, lastly, this card is also telling us that no one else can tell what the right choice is. It's telling Xi Jinping. So this card is telling Xi Jinping now. It's telling Xi Jinping and his leadership that no one else can tell what the right choice is for you. This is what this card is saying. But himself, they must trust that all the time there will be a solution to all the problems. All the time there will be a solution, and they shall move forward. So let's go to another card. So we have this card, guys, and this card is a Five of Pentacles. So this card of Five Pentacles is a card of setbacks, rocky times, and financial loss. This is a card of setbacks, rocky times, and financial loss. So the Five of Pentacles we usually show up when everything seems dark. It is valuable in this time to hold what you cherish. So this card, it is telling Xi Jinping and his leadership that even at the time when things look difficult and dark, it is telling him that you should hold on and cherish not just material things, people, but your ethics and values. So this card is telling him that no matter the difficulties which he is going to go through in his leadership, he should hold on to the ethics and values which you believe in as Chinese people. So he should hold on to ethics and values as well, which are easily forgotten in the hard times, but necessary for positive image and strength to carry on. So no matter the difficulties the country is going to go through as China, at any time, Xi Jinping and his leadership, this card is telling him that he should continue to hold on to the ethics and values as well, which can be easily be forgotten in the time of difficulties or in the time of hardships. Those ethics and values they will be forgotten, but do not forget them, because they will be necessary for positive image of the country and for himself, Xi Jinping, and his leadership. Those ethics and values will be very important for self-image and strength to carry on. So this card is telling him that they must continue to hold on to the ethics, despite problems or troubles which will occur now or in future. They must continue to hold on to the ethics and values which the country believes in and which his leadership believes in. So guys, this was the end of the reading on Xi Jinping as the current president of China. So his leadership, this is what it has to offer. As we can see, it's a very positive reading for Chinese people and for Xi Jinping leadership. So this reading is just telling us that Xi Jinping is a very, very important leader to the world and to his people. And we have heard everything which has come out in this reading. And I believe you enjoyed the reading. So I'll see you again, guys. And thank you very much.